went to the University of California, San Diego, and did a number of different job interviews, and ended up selecting the one that was with the veterinarian and the animal care program. And we just kind of seemed like a match. However, once after I got the job and well, there are a couple of funny stories. When I was being interviewed for the job, I think they had me interview with almost every member of the IACUC individually. It was an all-day interviews from one to the next, to the next, to the dean, to the vice chancellor, to all of these people. I didn't know it till later. I had a temperature of 102. And I also didn't know until after I was hired that the person before me had had a nervous breakdown and left the office there were just file drawers on the floor and just piles of papers. This was in 1984, just about the time that the Animal Welfare Act amendments and the Health Research Extension Act were being passed by Congress. And so I thought I was just coming into this position to assist the attending veterinarian and the staff and, get some things organized. Well, then I was there, I can't remember, it wasn't more than 2 weeks, and my boss said to me, I'll pick you up Saturday morning and we can get some more of this stuff done. And I thought, oh, so this is going to be a 6-day-a-week job. And little did I know that then the very first NIH conference on the new regulations, with Charlie McCarthy leading the meeting, was at USC. And we drove up to USC and went to this meeting and learned about these new regulations and the new health policies. And then we got back and they said to me, well, set up a program. So in a way it was kind of exciting because it was a chance to be a pioneer, and there was really no blueprint or pattern to follow, and no one else had one either because it was new to everybody. And the chair of our committee at that time had a friend at Johns Hopkins who was chair of his committee. And I don't know, he was very active in Primer as well, Dr. Traceman. And so they said, well, why don't you fly over to Baltimore and chat with him? Well, the veterinary program, the animal care program then was in the medical school. It subsequently, we put it all under the Vice Chancellor for Research.
And they didn't have a formal program of review?
No, there was an IACUC, but the IACUC in those days was primarily a per diem setting, and they were just kind of, it was pretty much voluntary as to submitting protocols. There wasn't a centralized purchasing of animals. So people could get animals. And it was very much the beginning stages of protocol review. There were some piles of protocol applications on the floor, but very few of them ever got processed or approved. And what we did when we had to give the count to the USDA at the end of the year of the animals used, it was, we just called all the investigators and asked them to tell us, which in this day and age you would be, you think of that as.
So you had to um, learn what the requirements were, devise a system in your head, and then talk to the people at your institution into implementing this plan that you've come up with. So it was
Right, and it was a lot. I learned that you do a lot of things on a collegial, collaborative basis because you don't. It's not like corporate world where the reporting structure is all very clear, and you have people that you report to and they report to you and they do what you say. You're having to work to convince faculty that had been doing research for 30 years that things were going to change, and why they were going to change and how they were going to change. And there were some bumps in the road because there were things that we set up that we found out could be done more streamlined. And but just so much of it was getting people vested in the program, getting help, and just being able to work together. And I think that's where my experiences in childhood really were useful to me.